Well, welcome everybody to the Bar TV Sports Finals coverage brought to you by Rams for the NHRU. It is the final time, it is knockout time, and it is pumping here at number 2. It's a beautiful day, and I'm with beautiful people, none other than the most beautiful co-commentator in the world, Jared Ryan. How are you, Jared?
Well, it turns out I wouldn't be there for quiz, Gareth. How are you doing this afternoon?
Yeah, very well, thank you. What a day it is here. We thought with the rain this week, the field may be in doubt due to previous circumstances, but we are here today at number 2. It has held up, well, we won't say a treat, but it's held up.
Well, we thought at one stage through the week we weren't going to travel. They were going to play it at Tomaree Oval, which would have delighted the pair of us. And it also would have delighted the Nelson Bay under-18s, who went down in a thriller, and congratulations to the Wanderers side who've taken the under-18s title early this afternoon.
Yeah, it was a very good win, very dominant win in that Colts grand final. Of course, live on Bar TV Sports, you can go back and watch that game after the main game coming up. Of course, it is the final here today with Wanderers taking on Maitland. Both teams throughout this semi-final series have been a little bit up and down. Wanderers last week weren't as good as we hoped they might have been against Hamilton. Hamilton certainly dominated that win in the end. Wanderers got their way back into the game, but the game for me was already over. And Maitland last week were very good against Merewether Carlton. They came up, they controlled the play, they ran directly. So today could be anything, Jared.
Well, the first thing I have to say is I appreciate your not getting on board with the Greens last year. You're impartial as you could possibly be with the Greens last Sunday, and I listened in along with a lot of people at home, and you did very well to keep your impartiality out of it. But yeah, as we know, the Blacks got them in the finish, but this afternoon, as you said, both teams have been a bit hit and miss, Gareth, through this semi-final series, and it's whoever turns up this afternoon and produces, they're going to be the victors in the finish.
Yeah, certainly. That's the way it generally goes. Dan Beckett, he's done a wonderful job with his Wanderers side this year, and Maitland, a little bit underperforming, but they are here in the penultimate game of the season. 40 minutes both ways. And there's a couple of big names coming back into this Maitland side. Brooke is the big one, comes in. Howell doesn't come back in. That's a big loss. He's a big body through the middle, but I was impressed by DeRockney last week. He came up, he filled the place of Howell and certainly added a bit of starch around the field as well. We thought that might have been replaced by Howell, but certainly Travis Brooke coming into this side, that is a big, big bonus.
It's a massive plus. James Johnson named at number 8, and of course now we know
he's gone to number 6.
Late years, Brooke is back in, and we know what he brings to the team. But I've had a little bit to do with the number 4, old huge DeRockney. He's a cracking player, but that's mine for this afternoon. The fact that Brooke is back in could make all the difference. We've got with the Wanderers side.
Yeah, Dan Kevill comes back in the side. Ben Ham, of course, we saw that in the papers, of course, very well reported by the Newcastle Herald this week. We are live on the Newcastle Herald as well. Dan Kevill comes back in. He'll go to number 8 in place of Ben Ham, and the two guys haven't played together too much throughout this final series, or indeed throughout the year.
They've been, if everybody remembers the old animated cartoon with the sheepdogs, and they're looking after the sheep, they're Ralph and Fred. They've been tagging each other week in, week out, so I'd be impressed to see them both on the park. But this afternoon we've got the Devil back. Ben Ham, of course, got the red card late in the game. Controversial as it was, but it stands. So he's out today, and that's going to make a huge difference to the Wanderers side.
Yeah, it is going to make a very big difference. Ben Ham, of course, the go-to man. Blair Rush as well. He'll have to pick up a bit more extra work. He's been battling all year in this side. Jack Johnson-Holmes retains his spot in the side. Very good last week, very good around the park. But for me, the big battle is going to be Keogh versus Manu in the midfield, in the centres. Robards keeps his spot at outside centre, but Manu last week, he was on fire.
I'll just take it a step back. For me, it comes down to the front row. Reid, Waller and Rush. Reid was their best on park till he got binned last week. It comes down to that. who's dominant out of that front row and who's winning the scrum for me. But the other big thing for me, we've got Luke Sherwood playing, and we all know he's a halfback. He's playing 5'8", and it's about how he gets the ball to Keogh, because we know he's the weapon. He's got to get clean early ball, and it's up to Sherwood to give it to him.
And the same goes for McCormick on the other side as well, as we see Karmanu leading this Maitland side out onto the field. All smiles. The team looks very happy to be here. It's going to be 80 minutes of big, strong rugby. And, of course, the World Cup starting today. We'll keep you updated with how the Australian team is faring in that one as well on Bar TV Sports.
They're kicking off at about 2:45, but the main game for us is here this afternoon at number 2 in the NHRU Rams preliminary final. Maitland are out there ready to go, chomping at the bit. I had a word to Punchy in the sheds about 10 minutes ago, and he's full of confidence. Quiet confidence, but he's full of confidence.
Yeah, certainly is, and it is going to be an interesting game. Of course, Chris Logan playing at fullback, probably in this Maitland side, the best position for him, up against the old stalwart Luke Simmons, who they play completely different types of games. Luke Simmons probably more a ball distributor, I guess, at this stage of his career than Logan. Logan very dynamic from the back. Yeah, can hit the hole very fast, deceptively quick, a lot like Jay Strawn from the Merriweather Carlton side. It's going to be busy all over the park here today, and those two players, absolute game breakers for both their sides.
Well, for me, I can't even see why a reason you bring the Greens into it, Gareth, but correct, Chris Logan is the key for the Maitland side this afternoon. If he hangs on to the football with the space he gets and the position he gets put into by Manu and the likes, they'll win the game, without a doubt. If he can hang on to the football, it's his ball handling that's let him down in the past. But if he can get on the ball this afternoon, Maitland are home.
Yeah, certainly are. And Chase Hicks, Ashworth, he's been an absolute try-scoring machine. 4 tries, I believe, for the semi-final series alone. He's retained his spots. Of course, Dalabozic on the bench absolutely tore them up in the Colts game. So he is looking to come on probably halfway through the second half, and he's a very damaging young player.
Well, we saw him named 2 weeks ago, and then Ashworth came in for him, and he got one of those run against the play tries that the two Blues got to put Maitland on the back foot, because they had dominance, they had early possession, they had all the ball, and the two Blues got a couple against the run of play. But I'm sure we'll see Dalabozic, and he was electric in the 18s earlier today.
So Blair Rush skippers the side here today as we see the two Blues come out onto the field. The handshake in the middle, but there's not much love lost between these two teams, these two playing group. Of course, Louis Nelson is the referee out there today. Captain Louis Nelson, the pilot.
The pirate.
Yeah, the pilot. It was National Talk Like a Pirate Day the other day too, incidentally. We'll just go through the lower grade scores. Colts 31-15. Wanderers in third grade got up over Merriweather Carlton 13-5, and in reserve grade it was a dominant performance by the Hawks, 56 points to 10. So it will be Wanderers kicking off here today at number 2 Sports Ground, running towards the Market Town, and of course Maitland running towards the Merriweather end, towards the junction there. Both shops very good.
It's the southern end, Gareth. We're at number 2. There's no reason once again to bring them into it. But
well, in any case, we're just about to start. We're just about to start here. Louis Nelson having a bit of a chat to both captains. It is the final. Only one team will go through here today in the Rams NHRU. Whistle blows, and it's game on here as they go deep through Simmons. Nicely taken by McCormick. Not much pressure as they go straight away to Travis Brook, getting his hands on the ball inside the 22. They go in behind Manu. McCormick to Manu. Oh, unlucky there. Open space for young Bradford.
Manu's done well to put him in space, and he's coughed his lollies up early. Unfortunate.
Well, it just shows the intent, doesn't it, of Maitland and how they're going to play this game here today.
They're going to spread the ball today. They're going to use their backs. They're going to get the ball wide.
Good line out there by the two Blues. Now it goes to Kevill. Kevill has Reed outside him. He winds up and takes that hit up. In behind a Sherwood. Here comes Keogh now running towards Davidson. He bumps away from one, but they hold him nicely this time. Manu is the tackler. Short ball to Blair Rush. Off the back there. Showing very good line speed here, the Blacks. as Chase Hicks tries to get something going over the 22, and he's out. So good defence there by Maitland, good line speed as I mentioned, and a couple of big hits early on, Jared.
Yeah, fantastic line speed from the Maitland Blacks, and a poor option from the two Blues. They've taken it wide and been put into touch there, so nice work from the Blacks early.
So they go to the back, Brooke gets a hand to it and they come up with it. Stafford, now Christensen gets them over the 22, the former Wanderers player. There'll be plenty of players out there for a bit of a square up after he defected to the club this season. Now it comes back. Bradford puts it on the boot over to Ashworth. They'll look for the quick one. They'll stop, hold and settle as Chris Logan comes through on the chase.
Thought he
so
would
out
take
on the full, taken all the way back. Out on the full, the ball obviously passed back inside the 22.
Big call from the touchy there. I never noticed that myself. But yeah, Christensen, I spoke to him earlier and he's not worried about the square ups, Gareth. He's ready to go. He's pumped and full of steam.
So they go to the back again, the two Blues. Nicely set line out. Here comes Reid. Reid winds up. He's a powerful, stocky prop forward. He's been a good find for the two Blues as they go one off the ruck again. And good tackle in the midfield by Robards. Tried to reef that ball out. Here's Blair Rush. Blair Rush takes one. He's been busy early on as they go to the right again. Looking to wrap around. Sherwood screaming for the ball. Gets it. Goes to Simmons. Simmons to Keogh. Keogh winds up and Manu rips the ball out. Good strong tackle there by the centre. On centre, we said it was going to be big in the midfield and it's proven that so far.
Yeah, great low tackle there. I'm not sure who it was, but the 13 from Maitland, Pat Robards, he hit him and Manu come in over the top. Hit him low and Manu come over, just stole it. Keogh got to be careful of his ball control there. Fantastic work from the old stalwart from Maitland.
Yeah, for a smaller, I guess, player, he certainly is very, very strong, Carl Manu. Well, deceptively, he's a very good defender as well. He doesn't get enough credit for that defence. As McCormick comes from the field, he has a blood bin injury, so you'd have to imagine that Patrick Beattie will come on the field and fill in it in the 10 jersey, yes. And that's the case.
That's what we'd expect to happen.
So Beattie had a long layoff this year. He started off the season as the first grade 5/8 for the Maitland side and had those weeks off. Came back through reserve grade, first grade, on the bench.
Should be a seamless transition, you would think, Gareth. But he looks in all sorts. I don't know. Punchy's down there tending to him. He looks in all sorts. I don't know whether he'll be back this afternoon. But the Stafford now to feed the scrum for Maitland.
Oh, good scrum by the two Blues. They put plenty of pressure on the Maitland side. Manu has Logan on the outside. So again, looking to play on the edges. A good take in the end. That was Johnson. Now here's Devante Manu. Gets them over the 22. They're very, very deep, this Maitland Black side. And here's Beattie. Beattie with a nice little short ball to Robards who can't handle. Bounces off the chest. And again, putting themselves under all sorts of pressure early on Maitland.
He's just come onto the park there. It's his first handle and he's coughed it up. But as we saw a couple of weeks ago, it was the Blacks who had all the possession, all the field position. And this afternoon, it turns out in the first 5 minutes, it's two Blues. So interesting whether they can come up with some points here. Again, the key for me is to get it to Keogh. They've got to get him an early ball and get him in space.
Yeah, that's right. Use him as the battering ram early on as well, and then out the back to Chase Hicks and Simmons to play on the fringes as Maitland are doing to them. We'll see how the Wanderers scrum goes this time, and again, they go forward. Louis Nelson controlling it nicely. Sinclair George goes down the short side, has Marsh on the outside. Marsh steps back infield, but he's taken by the cover defence. He's about 7 metres out as they go again. Sham Schmidt this time had a good season as well. He's a workhorse as they pick and drive now, the two Blues, and they go again. So just easy to take inches here. 5 metres out, less than 5 metres out. Blair Rush stands one off. They pick and drive again. Goes towards the try line. Here comes Dave Waller looking for a run. He'll get there, he'll get up, he'll get over. Held up, is he? No, he's just short. And here they come. Big Kevel throws it out the back. Simmons, Keogh, he'll go himself and he'll score the first try of the day.
We spoke about getting him in space, and he had all the space he needed there, ladies and gentlemen.
He had two on the outside, but
yes,
went himself.
Good work by the Wanderers forwards. Showed great composure, had a few phases there, contained the football, got the back some space, and the devil, as we call him, he's fed it out the back, and Keogh, he's over.
I thought his big arm might have gone for the try line himself then, but he was unselfish, looked for support.
He is a glory hunter, but he chose to pass it out the back.
I don't know about that, but anyway, he's got the try.
So Simmons, now the conversion on his good side, I believe, Gareth.
Yeah, I think he's got this one.
I'll give you first choice of the day.
He would have been out at number 4, practicing all week out the back here. I'm going to back him in here.
All right. I'm backing him out. So, ladies and gentlemen, get on board, of course, with your participation on our Facebook page. Whether you want to comment whether he's going to kick it, you're commenting on the state of play, the referee's performance, or our performance. We were called Muppets last week, which is a little bit derogatory, and as my mother used to say, you've got nothing positive to say, shut your bib. So anyway, Gareth's
controversial. Here we go.
Gareth's backing him in, I'm backing him out.
Here comes Simmons. He hits it, it comes across, and it's over.
Sweet as you like.
7-0 the score.
Sweet.
Little update for the Rugby World Cup as well. The Wallabies down 12 points to 14 in that World Cup game. If you are watching live, watching both of us, send some photos in on the Facebook page on how you're watching Bar TV Sports this afternoon. This one goes deep and high as Johnson Holmes winds up.
Morrell, I believe, has taken that.
That was Morrell, sorry, my mistake. They come one out. They're going to have to work their way out. This Maitland defence also picking up its pace. Batalina driven back, not making too much ground here. Sherwood on the short side, takes it in himself. Had Hicks on the outside. They're playing patience out of their own 22 here, the two Blues. Comes back now for Simmons. Simmons puts the kick in nice and high, and not the best touch finder, but it gets them out of trouble and outside of their own danger zone.
Yeah, well, that was the option for them. They ball in hand looking to control it, but Simmons stepped up, said, give it to me, we'll get us out of here. So now, line out to the Blacks, about 38 metres out from the two Blues try line.
So here's Runchel. Of course, good story about him coming back into this Maitland squad. Had a bit of a layoff himself. As now he joins the back of them all. Chapman. Called knock on. I don't know about that. But anyway, here comes Robards. Robards winds up. Good run by the outside centre. Here's Manu. They've got space on the outside. And again, Bradford unable to catch it. Here goes Chase Hicks. Manu from behind with a big hit, dislodging the ball.
Yeah, the rest played advantage there, and it's gone 20 metres downfield, and Manu has come up with a crushing tackle on Chase Hicks, who was outstanding here last weekend. I thought it was his best game of the year.
Well, he had Tim Marsh on the outside, just couldn't get the pass away.
The fastest man in the competition should have been looking for him, but couldn't get the ball to him, and Manu come up with a cruncher.
Yeah, it was a big tackle from behind, wasn't it?
The old stager. He's still got the goods.
And of course, the Anderson Medal, a lunch on tomorrow for the Rams NHRU. And he'll be one of the men that feature, as is Travis Brook, and Ben Ham probably was looking like it, but it is the best and fairest award, so I think the suspension may have cost him. So it's going to be a Maitland feed.
So he's out of the game.
I believe that is the case. I might be wrong, though. Our friends on Facebook might be able to tell us. As that one comes in, Beatty drifts across, comes out the back for Clackety. Clackety finds a bit of space. Clackety winds up all. Chase Hicks from behind this time.
Yeah, great cover tackle there.
Yeah, good counter-rucking by the Wanderers. It is a Maitland ball, though. Oh, quick tap taken by Stafford. He's going to call it back, though. Off the mark. And Maitland looking to hit back here, 7-0 on the Street Property scoreboard.
Fantastic cover defence from Chase Hicks there has pulled the Maitland attack up. But now they get a touch finder and a chance to get back on the scoreboard for the first time this afternoon. So Runcher with the throw about 7 metres out from the Two Blues line on what is a quite calm afternoon here. It's sunny, balmy, best afternoon we've had.
And straight to two, they join the maul and they'll look to walk it up the field. Wanderers are going to have to dig hard here to defend as they drive forward the Blacks, and they're over. Oh, he's called held up.
Well,
I can't believe it.
They may be over the line, but they're not over as in points.
Well, I thought he was there. I thought he was at the bottom, and Travis Brook has a bit of blood there.
Fantastic work from the Two Blues defence. They've pulled them up, held them up short. Got over the line, the Blacks, but come up with nothing.
Well, it was defence that won it here a couple of weeks ago for the Wanderers against the Blacks, and if they have any short of that effort today,
well, they just showed
trouble.
They just showed us there earlier that they've come to play and their defence is on the game. So the Blacks here now with the scrum, Stafford to feed, 5 metres out.
And so Beatty in at first receiver, Manu playing it outside centre, Robards lined up at inside. The Wanderers' defensive line condensed. Stafford, the ball almost flying out. Brooks controls it. Beatty goes himself, gets the ball to Manu. Manu out the back to Bradford. Has Logan on the outside. They'll need quick ball here to recycle as they pick and drive now, the Blacks.
Yeah, fantastic work there from Simmons, the fullback. He's tied him up, contained the ball.
A little bit disjointed here, the Blacks. They need to be quicker to the breakdown at the moment. To Rockney. Manu trying to work something on the short side. Clackety. Dangerous play, good finisher. And in a jolting tackle, Brook now. He's driven back the Wanderers' defence.
Dominating there.
Here's Chapman. Chapman gets them back on the front foot. Manu calling for it, gets it. Looking for support. No, he's going to go himself and set the ball up almost midfield. Comes now to Beatty, inside to Robards. Robards looking for the pop, gets the pop, but no one there. Cleaned up in the end, and Nick Davidson comes across and cleans out the ball, spitting out. This is untidy stuff by the Blacks at the breakdown, and it's going to be a Wanderers scrum, so very good defence there by this Two Blues side, and McCormick comes back on the field.
Enormous defence from the Two Blues there. The ref called a knock back to the Blacks, but then went into the ruck and the Blacks couldn't get it out. So obviously Two Blues ball, you don't use it, you lose it, as we know. So fantastic effort from the Two Blues. It's a big shout out this afternoon to Michael Morris-Marr, the most eligible batcher in the Hunter Valley.
Oh, there we go.
He's up there cleaning his carpet this afternoon, I believe, in his lounge room watching Bar TV live.
Very good, and Benny McCulloch watching in, loving the coverage. Kerry Shepherd, the worldly wordsmith Wazik, and the raspy rattling of Orion. So thanks for the feedback there. Of course, if you do want to share the post, everything Bar TV Sports. A little bit of inside mail. Little tweet in there. One of the Kerno boys showering with Nick Davidson yesterday, and he was pumped.
Full of confidence.
In the crib room.
Full of confidence and focused, the boy from Maitland, one of our favourites. The bad Viking, don't we call him?
The bad Viking.
The bad Viking.
So here we go. Sinclair George with the ball to feed. Simmons is lined up on the left, and they're just taking a bit of time here. The Street Property scoreboard has it at 7-0 in favour of the Wanderers. They haven't seen too much of the opposition half in the last 10 minutes.
Yeah, well, as we saw a couple of weeks ago, Maitland dominating the field position and possession, but the Wanderers coming up with the goods in defence, Gareth. So
yeah, Maitland playing more direct here, and that'll help them. A couple of inside runners. And Stafford, he's very good at pressuring the opposition half. Sinclair George, of course, obviously coming into the team this year, young halfback.
He's done fabulously well, though, in his year.
Here comes Simmons. Simmons looking to play off his own line. They do very well.
Good
Chase
ball,
Hicks gets them over the 22. Here's Kevill. Kevill winds up, playing more of a battering ram role here today.
Yeah,
nice run there. That was Morrell, was it? Coming through. Here's Sherwood looking for go. He goes himself. Keogh was on his outside. Penalty to the two Blues. We'll just have a listen to this.
Brought it back there for an indiscretion, but yeah, big write-up from our mate Jimmy Gardner in the paper about Morrell through the week in the Herald. If anybody buys the Herald, reads that.
Of course, we are live on the Herald as well, and Jimmy Gardner has done some great work all year.
The Englishman, he brings good skills to this side. Played a bit of flanker early in the season, moved to the second row now, but he's had a great season.
So off the back, Sinclair George now to Reid. Reid is met by Davidson. Very good hit there.
There's Schmidt taken down there. Sinclair George out to Sherwood, off to Keogh, pops it over to Hicks.
Yeah, good rampaging run up to halfway by Hicks.
Morrell now charging forward, making good meters.
Is it Harry Johnson-Holmes?
I think that's Morrell.
Oh, Sinclair George off the back, pops it to Kevill. Kevill. He gets them up to the 40.
The Devil getting involved now. Blair Rush on the charge. He's the man making meters.
Now, Kevill again. Kevill picking up his work rate. We've seen him ease into this final series. He missed last week.
Fantastic clash there between the two number 8s. Brook took him on head on. As the Wanderers moves it to the right now through Sinclair George.
Sherwood goes in behind Ashworth now. Keogh winds up. Keogh is going to be hard to stop. And somehow Logan puts his body in front and puts him over the sideline.
Tackle of the year for mine right there. Down the left-hand touchline. Keogh away for all money. And he's been shortened up.
He wind up. He's hard to put down, and Logan put his body on the line. That's the stuff that wins semi-finals.
Well,
there was no arms in that either, so I don't know.
Let's not bring the decisions into it. That was just a cracking tackle.
Yeah, but you've got to understand. Ben Ham's missing a week for no arms. We saw just there. Chris Logan, no arms. What's the difference?
I'm the first one to understand. He's a back, so he gets away with it. You know how it works. Poor old Benny Ham sitting on the sideline. I feel sorry for you, Benny, but you should be out there running amok this afternoon, mate. We all know at home he's one of my favourites. But that tackle was a cracking tackle from Logan. Arms or no arms, it was a cracking tackle. It put him into touch, got the job done.
Well, it was a try saver, that's for sure. And Keogh, we saw last week, he was the player that got Wanderers back into the match against Hamilton.
Well, for mine, it was Chase Hicks last week. It was the first time we saw him come to life and get a bit of ball in space. We spoke about getting Sherwood, getting Keogh in space. I think Chase Hicks, you put him in space, he's got a lot to give.
Yeah, he's very good on the edges as well, good with the ball in his hands. He was a former winger for Waratah.
Here we go, big change for Maitland.
Yeah, Willie So coming on. Looks like is it Chapman coming off the bench. Looks like he may be carrying a bit of a shoulder injury there.
He doesn't look well to me.
So that's unfortunate because plenty of experience. He's played down in Sydney in the Gen Blue and the Shoot Shield. And
so will he stay or will he sow now on the park for Maitland?
Well, they messed that line up there.
Sherwood, the pit bull, he's all over that.
Somehow Maitland come up with it though. So they pick and drive to get themselves out of trouble, and that's a penalty to Wanderers. And you'd have to think Simmons will take the shot. They're looking for the quick tap. He's got to take the shot.
Sense will prevail at 7-0. Sense will prevail. He'll step up and take the penalty, I'm sure.
Well, he's at the back here. It doesn't look like the kicking tee's coming out, is it? Yes, it is. So Carl Manu having a bit of a chat.
Just so you know, ladies and gentlemen, there's no bruise. You've heard us speak about the bruise here in the past couple of weeks at number 2. It can be worth an enormous amount of points. It's almost negative today. There's a light brush, you'd call it, wouldn't it? It's not even disturbing your bouffant, Gareth. That's how light it is. So favouring neither team, but Wanderers now choose to take the scrum.
Yeah, take the scrum. Big decision here.
Massive decision.
7-0 up. 10 Could have gone to 10, relatively easy kick. In any case.
Yeah, well, myself, I would have taken the 3, but...
yeah, you think semi-final, everything to play for, but anyway.
Points
the two Blues taking off the back there. Sinclair George comes up with it, has Marsh on the outside, goes himself. Should have given it there. As Kevell comes down the short side, he's driven back. Good defence, good scrambling defence by the Blacks. As Dave Wallach picks and drives, offloads. Batalina. He's close. Ashworth.
No, yeah, good defence there from the Blacks. Kept the two Blues out.
Penalty though.
Bubba Coleman's just popped into the booth to say good day this afternoon. Having a week off, of course. The Hawks going for 5 in a row next week.
Yeah, 5 in a row, and it's out of these two sides to see where they go. Looks like they may be taking the tap here. I really think they should have taken the points on hand just before.
Without a doubt for mine, Gareth. There's 3 points on offer. It'll take you to 10-0. But chance their hand, come up empty. Waiting for the referee's decision here. The Wanderers side will get another crack at it. As I say, what is a balmy Saturday afternoon?
Coming from the field now is Clackety. High tackle, so he's given him some time. We were assured that the quota of yellow cards had been given today by...
There is more cheese.
...by the referee.
Any crackers? That's what we want to know. Is there any crackers? Clackety has got a bit of cheese.
And we get back to the action. So they're a man down now. Maitland, can Wanderers make them pay? They go to 2, off the top, Sinclair George to Sherwood, has runners, goes across to Chase Hicks. Chase Hicks can't get a ball away. Manu over the top, but they consolidate this one. As Sherwood looking for runners, goes back on the inside to Piers Morrell. Now they go on the outside, Jack Johnson-Holmes, he's been busy. 10 metres out, here's Blair Rush taking a solid hit up again, rolled. But again... the Maitland side not committing numbers there, and quick tap taken by Ashworth. Ashworth goes across field, hits, spins. He's very close. I thought he was over the line there.
Surely he's an inch.
Oh, they drop the ball and Blair Rush goes over. And he's going to have a...
He'll go back for the advantage.
He's going to have a chat here.
He'll go back for the advantage, surely.
He's sent Runshall to the bin. Yellow card. So, the discipline hurting Maitland at the moment.
Wow.
As we're just having a bit of...
2 in the bin for the Blacks.
Bit of trouble with the refs comms for our viewers out there, but Dan Runshall, he'll take a sit on the bench. He's got a good trunk for splinters too, hasn't he, Runshall?
Oh, sorry. He's got me there, ladies and gentlemen. But
so they're going to take the scrum.
Maitland, they lost 2/3 of their starting front row here. We said Willie So's gone off for Chapman, and Runshall now on the bench.
I thought Chapman he was talking to his coaches there. He was saying, I'm right to go on, but they're going to go with Fraser to come on, so just resting Chapman. So they'll have to drop a winger, you would say, or a breakaway.
Al Fraser coming on. Well, you lose a winger, you got to keep your scrum up, as we've spoken about. People at home would understand rugby, know that you've got to have a scrum to start with.
Well, that's the trouble with, your front row. They find some time in the bin. You've got to replace the front row like for like.
It's a massive call now. The Maitland Blacks reduced to 13 men. The two Blues on the charge.
So we see Ashworth coming to the short side. Morrell locking the scrum there at the back.
Yeah, out of position there. He's playing number 8.
I think Kevell has boosted the scrum going into the second row.
Want to be dominant in this one.
And here they come now, the two Blues. Sherwood calling for it. As Keogh goes through, Simmons with good hands. Hands will do it. Hicks for the corner. Hicks goes over. Great effort by Manu, but in the end, just short of numbers.
Yeah, look, It was a numbers game in the finish, and Manu did his best, but Chase Hicks did his best as well. He's a little bit of an acrobatic there.
He's flipped.
Got a chance at the start at Cirque de la Sol. But no, fantastic work there. Manu's done his best, but the two Blues with numbers and the Blacks with two in the bench, they've gone over again to what I would call a commanding lead now out to 12
points to nil. So they were right in not taking the shot at goal before. They earned a couple of penalties, got a couple of man advantage there. 12 points to nil on the Street Property scoreboard here for the Titan Group Finals Day. Leading into the grand final next weekend, of course, we have the women's grand final live on Bar TV Sports after this match. So stay tuned for some brilliant running rugby by the women.
Yeah, Maitland v the Waratahs, and of course Maya Stewart from the Bay doing exceptional things and taking big steps in the world of women's rugby.
Certainly one to watch out there, plenty to watch out there, but the game going to be brought to you by Bar TV Sports straight after the first grade game here. And Wanderers, 12 points to nil. I'm going to say no.
Oh, you knew what I was going to ask you, so I don't. All right, so it's 1-0 to you at this stage. I'm backing him in. I'm backing him in from the bad side.
He's hit that. Oh, and the flags go up. He's on fire here today. Luke Simmons.
So we'll call it 1-1 off the boot of Simmons here this afternoon.
No one's buying anything.
They're all buying, Gareth. It's all about the price.
And Maitland very slow to come back here. They're obviously looking to soak up time.
Well, they're a little shell-shocked with 13 men.
Couple down. Yep. 2 tries down as well. 14 points to nil on the Street Property scoreboard.
And the
here for the Rams NHRU knockout final.
Yeah, the preliminary final goes on. The winner today, of course, goes on for next week for the big dance to play Hamilton. The Blacks a little shell shock with 13 men. They go deep off the kickoff.
Yeah, that's a good kick there by Bradford. They'll have to work out again.
Burrell underneath it. He's done well there. Takes it on the charge. Gets it out to the 22.
Now, interchange of passing over the 22. Jack Johnson-Holmes is the recipient. Here's Sherwood. Sherwood has runners both sides. He's making plenty of metres up the middle. Sherwood, that one spits out. Not really controlled very well as Jack Johnson-Holmes again goes forward. Waller in behind. Simmons to Marsh. Marsh looking to find a bit of space. Oh, that's a good tackle around the legs by Robards, because if Marsh was in space there, it could have been anything. As Reed goes forward now. Good composure by the two Blues, Jared.
Yeah, fantastic composure by the two Blues. They're down to Devil.
Here comes Keogh. He's going to be very hard to stop. Has people on the inside. Sherwood. And now Sinclair George goes across field. Johnson-Holmes again. Gee, he's been busy, hasn't he, Jared?
All over the park. He's replacing the everywhere man this afternoon.
He certainly is. As Kevill, he passes this time to Rush. So just changing his game up a little bit is Dan Kevill. Now they go in behind to Simmons, who drifts across. Chase Hicks stands in the tackle. Had Marsh on the outside, but holds the ball. Good decision making here by the two Blues as they've come 80 metres up the field. Blair Rush. He had Kevill looming on the inside. And here's Ashworth looking to take some pressure. Batalina pops the ball up to Waller. Oh, the hands. Goes over the head of Sherwood. Keogh steps back inside and goes over. Well, it turns out Sherwood had no vertical leap there on the Bernal replay. Went over his head and into the hands of Keogh. Hard to stop, Jared.
Well, it turns out it's a walk in the park here for the two Blues this afternoon. They had space galore, numbers galore. Maitland just couldn't match up. They almost messed it up, but they've come up with the points. Got it to Keogh and he's over.
More space than the Orion Nebula. Jared?
Let's not bring the Ryans into it.
So Simmons, can he make it 3 from 3?
I'm backing him in.
As they go 19-0 in the Street Property scoreboard.
It's my call. I'm backing him in. It's on his good side.
Yeah, 15 metres in from touch. He should look to land this one.
No, the two Blues, they're full of running, and Maitland with a couple of men down, they're in all sorts. They're finding it very tough this afternoon. They were finding it tough 15 on 15, but now it's two Blues with a couple of men advantage and running at will.
Yeah, certainly, and having McCormick go to the blood bin early on as well, that hasn't helped their cause. It just looked a little disjointed when they were attacking at their really only opportunity inside the 22 before.
Clunky, is that the word? They were looking a bit
That is
yeah,
they were looking a little clackety.
Click, clack.
As Simmons
now lining up on his good
Personal
side.
jinx. He has a little shake there. Little shimmy.
He's just wiping the brow. He's fine. If anybody knows this ground in the
Oh,
wind,
they jumped the gun there, the Maitland Blacks. As Simmons comes in and he hits it, and it's 3 from 3. So 21-0 the score, and this is a very tough task now for Maitland to get back into this game.
And more importantly, it puts me up 1-0, I believe.
Yes, it does.
All right, so the Blacks under the pump. They're down still by 2 men, and the Wanderers with a commanding lead here in the opening half of the NHRU Rams preliminary final. Down 21-0.
Yeah, a couple of fans out there not happy about the sin binnings at home. So if you do want to give us your thoughts on the Bar TV Sports feed, let us know what you're thinking. And Morrell, he's had a good game, hasn't he? He's really, I guess, filled that void of Ben Ham here today. And Marsh, open space on the outside. Sinclair George, they should draw and pass here. Pops it up, has Marsh back on the outside. Oh, what hands and what a try to the two Blues. They almost...
Well, off the kickoff, and they've done their best to absolute murder it.
Coast to coast.
They've done their best to absolutely murder it, but somehow they've got away with that. Fantastic work from Hicks and Marsh.
Yeah, Tim Marsh and Sinclair George did well. I thought it was going to go over his head, as we saw Sherwood before.
I thought I was going to catch it up here in the stand.
He's popped it up and he's regathered, and Marsh.
Seriously,
Marsh did really well to hold his run back.
left hand out. I thought I was going to get it. They've done well there, the two Blues. Off the kickoff. You don't see that too often in a preliminary final. So they march on, the two Blues, and Maitland, shell-shocked, 13 men down.
So Simmons, a similar spot as what he had before.
Backing him
From the other side, I'm going to back him in this time.
Of course you are. I'm going to back him out just to make it interesting.
So 26 points to 0 here on the Street Property scoreboard. All the replays brought to you by Banlaw. And, of course, this broadcast brought to you by the Titan Group. It is the Rams NHRU Final Series. Of course, plenty of other sponsors as well. Elders Insurance, 8 Recruitment coming on board. BME Sportswear. And, of course, the referees brought to you by Specsavers. And Clackety's come to the sideline. So he'll be rejoining the fray.
I can't even reason why you'd send a winger off, but he's about to enter the fray.
Well, he's come up and they've come through on it. Oh, the flags go up. Simmons.
It's back to 0-0, folks.
This is his best day he's had all year kicking. There's no breeze, perfect conditions, and Luke Simmons turning back the clock.
Clackety back on the field now, takes Maitland to 14 men, but it's not going to help them much. They are in all sorts here this afternoon at number 2. The dominant two Blues, they're on the charge. They've got the points on the board, and Maitland are in licorice.
So we got about 5.5 minutes remaining of regular time here. A little bit of stoppage time, and that's a lovely kickoff there on point as Batalina doesn't come down with it. So he went up and the ball bounced out. And now Josh McCormick looking for Robards and Davidson. He goes himself, and Sherwood upends him. Good defence there by the diminutive 10 as Brooks.
The pig dog.
The pig dog. Here comes Davidson. Talk about pig dogs.
The bad Vikings on the job.
Here comes Willie So. Willie So gets them over the 22 and gets about 4 or 5 tacklers to try and put him down. Manu on the short side as they take it forward. Not getting too many metres, but controlling the ball nicely here, the Blacks. Can they hit back before half-time? As now Manu goes forward. Here comes McCormick, Robards inside, that rips out. So Wanderers again defending well. Here comes Keogh taken from behind by McCormick. had Hicks and Ashworth on the outside. It's still on the short side. Ashworth, little kick downfield. Ball goes out, though, on halfway. Wow.
Well, desperate defence there.
The defence by the two Blues. They're a completely different side to what we saw last week.
Under the pump. They had all the possession, all the ball last week.
So Dan Runshall coming back on the side now. He'll take the line out straight up as Fraser did a good job while he was on there. There's now Devontae Manu just looking to slow this line out down. They go to the back. Oh, straight into the arms of Kevill.
The devil.
Oh, long ball to Keogh. Keogh has Hicks on the outside, pops it up, and it goes out of the way of everyone. All Clackety comes in. Bit of a swinging arm, you might think.
Ordinary ball there.
As they pick up off the back. And they'll have to reset here as Reed. Oh, he's met by the shooter who was Travis Brook coming up out of the line. Here's Dave Waller. Good hands by the hooker. Sherwood comes across field. And that's a penalty to the two Blues.
Yeah,
midfield, Sinclair George takes the tap. They go quick. Offside. I thought Runshall there may have been offside. I think he got the call from the referee,
Yeah, he'll go back playing in the advantage here for sure.
No, he's going to call the knock on. I think, is he?
They only made 2 metres. He's got to go back to the advantage playing on the other side of the field, surely, Gareth.
No, he's going to call the scrum, so Maitland let off the hook. They need to score before half-time.
Well, for mine, that's poor refereeing. He should have gone back to the advantage that he was playing.
28 points to nil on the Street Property scoreboard.
So he thinks
you can see Max Stafford down there really trying to get his forwards up for this scrum. As you said before, the advantage was being played, I thought, or we thought from our viewpoint, our vantage point up here. But
well, they need a hand, but they don't need it from the referee. The referee's got to ref the game, and there was a clear advantage to the two Blues on the other side of the field. Play on, they cough the ball up, you go back to the advantage, do you not? Not that I'm one to question, not that I'm one to question referees.
Here comes Stafford now. So McCormick with that cut over his eye, patched up. Good chat out there between Sherwood and McCormick. You can see them on the camera having a bit of a sledging competition. So McCormick, they go to Manu. Manu running straight, direct. Logan on the outside, gets away from one. Here comes Clackety. Clackety. He'll stand. He's driven towards the sideline. They keep it in, though. Bradford.
Yeah, fantastic play from Manu.
And again, good cover defence by the two Blues. Yeah. Manu running direct. They got on the outside through Logan. Oh, no look pass. Davidson does well to pick that up. Shocking pass if
off his boot.
Where to say and where to judge on that one. And here comes Devontae Manu. Willie So looking for a run. This is where he's damaging. Advantage played that time.
And here we go. We go back to the advantage system. I do not understand why we didn't do it last time. But Maitland get a chance now for points late in the second half. And fantastic play by Carl Manu. Just that direct line he runs. And he gives his outside men space. And the two Blues having trouble manning up and containing that.
So we've got a couple of minutes remaining in the half. It's been to and fro. Wanderers soaked up a lot of pressure, and Maitland, unfortunately, with the two men off, they've suffered 3 tries in that time, and it may go a long way to getting the Wanderers through here. And that one's off the top. I think certainly one of the yellow cards, the high tackle, probably was warranted, but maybe not the other for Runshall as they come wide. Clackety joins in. Logan, short ball. Oh, is he over? Oh, somehow he's got under him there, held him up. Logan scores that every day of the week, but not on Saturday, number 2.
It's the pig dog. It's pig dog Sherwood. He's underneath him. He's kept him up. That's outstanding defence.
Copybook on how you take someone, ball and all.
That's how you do them.
So Chris Logan shakes his head. Clackety did well to link up with him. And they want to really come away with points here.
Luke Sherwood
should have been a try.
Luke Sherwood has come out with an outstanding tackle there. He's rolled him over, kept him up. Fantastic work by the two Blues, number 10.
On the run as well. He wasn't just stationary there. He jumped up around him, got the ball and all, and somehow got his body underneath.
Somehow. That's why we call him the pig dog. He's got in amongst it. He's chomping at the bit. Now the Blacks with a chance now. Stafford feeding.
Yeah, Manu standing flat. McCormick in behind the pocket. So Manu's going to take one up here. Steps off his left, looking to ignite something himself. As they spin around, is he over? No, he's not. He's close. Stafford at the back. Is he going to? Oh, he's scored the try. So Maitland next to the post. They go over. And it's James Johnson who gets the try. Birrell goes as a late replacement, and James Johnson, who was slated to start at number 8. Travis Brook came in, and Johnson, playing a breakaway, gets the first try for the Blacks.
Well, there you go. Can I just ask you to wear your correct numbers? Just wear the numbers you named in. Fantastic try there from the Blacks. Relentless pressure. Maitland had a bit of pill at the Two Blues end. Manu having quite a strong conversation with the referee out there now. I'm not sure what that's about.
Yeah, we'll work on that at half-time. And an update in the World Cup score, if anyone's not watching and they're solely tuning
lining up.
Puts so he gets 7 points on the scoreboard, 26-7, or 28-7, sorry, and it's a big ask now on the Street Property scoreboard for Maitland to come back. But the Wallabies down 21-15 to Fiji. This
always going to be a danger.
A big upset.
They were always my danger in the group. The Fijians, they love their rugby. They throw it around and always going to test the Australians. So just an update here for you, ladies and gentlemen at home. There's the Two Blues, Drew Simmons, about to resume play late in this first half.
Louis Nelson having a bit of a chat there to the players, and they go deep and flat. That's a good restart there. Forced to trap it with his foot there, Robards, as he winds up and meets Dan Kevill in a very strong tackle right on the 22. Now McCormick, he goes wide. Brook has space on the outside. He goes straight up the middle, though. He had Logan coming up on his shoulder. Willie So. He's tackled. Yeah, well accounted for, Willie So.
Still space there. They couldn't get it to the left, right, though.
So here comes Dan Runchell taking the run. They've picked up a gear now, the Blacks. As Manu goes in behind to Logan. Logan steps and looks for a kink in the armour, a kink in the defence by the Two Blues, and Manu looking to get involved and gets Davidson on the boil up to halfway.
Looking for late points here, the Blacks. Got the Two Blues under all sorts of pressure now, marching forward, making
Manu almost running in behind his player there.
Making easy meters, though. The Two Blues have almost switched off. They're almost in the sheds.
Well, they've done a lot of defending, the Two Blues, and McCormick, he looks for runners, but he goes himself. And Max Stafford off the back. He's dangerous.
Had a dart.
Davidson again. Now Logan goes to Runchell.
They're just probing now, the Blacks. They're just probing
Brook, he throws the big dummy, almost getting through. Off the back.
Two Blues under.
Great patience shown by Maitland.
All sorts of...
Keogh comes out of the line. Manu passes to Robards. Keogh goes for another one. It's going to be brought back for advantage again.
They are
so
applying.
28 points to 7.
They might be down 28 points to 7. They're applying all sorts of late pressure here to the Two Blues defensive line.
Well, if they can get another try here, the Blacks, it'll be a good result, you'd have to say. I would
almost say they're back in the game.
Well, I will say they're back in the game if they score a try here.
They spent, as we know, 10 minutes with 2 men down.
Tough ask in any level of competition.
Let alone a preliminary final in the NHRU competition. As we know, the level of football has been exceptional so far.
So Bradford with the ball. He's going to look for touch, and he'll be looking for that 5 metre line. He makes a good account of it. 10 metres out.
So Maitland now with one last chance here deep in the first half. And the Two Blues, all of a sudden, after being the commanding side for the first half, they find themselves under enormous pressure.
So Runchell has to get this one right. Goes to the back and straight to Brook. They pop to Stafford. There's bodies in motion. Christensen, he's met. So Manu, he's going to be the danger man, you feel. They go to Runchell to the left as they try to set something up here. Manu now coming a step inside Robards and Brooke. He's really lifted the intensity, Brooke.
Great
Stafford
tackle.
now, quick ball is what they need. They get it. Manu. Oh, Logan goes without it. And now it's kicked forward, but it's going to be brought back. And it's a penalty to Wanderers. What about that call?
Well, where's the advantage? Why don't you play on, sir?
Well, he's not playing on, and the referee has blown his whistle, but if he had have maybe let the play go a little bit
Ashworth's
further.
in under the post. The Devil kicked it forward. Ashworth's off his left hip, goes all the way at number 2.
Well, Sam Schmidt was there that got through on it. And
that's a big call in more ways than one. Not only to
Simmons goes
the Blacks don't
the touchline.
The Blacks don't get late points.
And that's going to be half time, Jared. We're going to take a quick break for the Rams NHRU knockout final here at number 2 Sports Ground. We're going to get all the information from Jared down in the huddles after half time. Tune in. We're going to take a quick break and come back with all the second half action. Hey, that's not. Yeah. I couldn't get it going.
It's just that.
The pin.
Yeah, and wind her up on number 4.
I'd bring him in, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But when I bring him in, I'll wind it up. But it kept sort of.
Well, when they come out see, they turn them off.
Yeah, I know.
So we'll have a listen. Actually, I'm hearing a crack.
I don't think he had it on because the blue light was on. I don't think he actually. Oh, he must have had his comms on.
Sit that middle.
Yep.
That one on the outside. That's your line feed. And then referee is on this line here.
Oh, it was.
Okay, so I'll give when you come in, I'll set that.
You'll get sort of 5 minutes to get your sound check and that, right? So. Well, welcome back, everybody, to the Bar TV Sports coverage of the Rams 2019 final series. We're here at number 2 Sports Ground, and on the street property scoreboard, Wanderers, with that 2-man advantage, really ran away with the lead, 28 points to 7 at half time. But Maitland, with a full contingent back, certainly came back into it towards the end of the half. And it's going to be a big half in the second half. Of course, the match coverage brought to you by the Titan Group. And indeed, the street property scoreboard, Banlaw bringing all the replays for you at home. And we do enjoy your viewership here on Bar TV Sports. Give us a tweet in and let us know your thoughts on the game, your thoughts on the half, or anything, be it controversial or be it standard. We enjoy the enthusiasm and both huddles really getting together out there. It's 40 minutes left to see who will face Hamilton Hawks. Can the Hamilton Hawks make it 5 in a row, or will one of these two teams scuttle their plans? I believe they've already got the t-shirts made up, such is the confidence, the Hawks. And these two sides really going to go at it now. So, little update from the World Cup, 25 points to 21. The Wallabies now hitting the lead for the first time today. And the Blacks coming out. They will be kicking off. It'll be the two Blues huddling up. Reserves starting 15. They hold the advantage here coming into the second half, 28 points to 7. A little bit of cloud cover coming across now. The wind picked up, as we see now. Dan Beckett allowing his Chargers to get back in to this Rams NHRU final. It was supposed to be the grand final here today, but due to wet weather, it has been postponed to next week. The Anderson Medal, of course, still on tomorrow. And we are 40 minutes away from knowing who will be in the grand final against the Hamilton Hawks next week. Louis Nelson, the referee. Bradford with the ball. And here we go. It's showtime here at number 2 Sports Ground. Kevill bounces off his hip. Forward into Reed. Accidental offside is the call. I thought maybe it was a penalty, but Jared Ryan is with us up in the commentary box. Firstly, what were the coaches saying at halftime?
Well, my apologies for being a little bit late, but Travis Brook got hold of me in the Maitland huddle, wouldn't let me go, wanted to have a word or two about it.
I could imagine why. It's almost slander.
The two Blues, full of confidence. Beckett just asking for the same that what he got in the first half. The Blacks just needed some composure and 15 men on the field, and they're approaching this second half with some confidence as well.
So the Blacks with the early advantage here, 25 metres out. They have the scrum, and they've certainly picked up at the set pieces. Brook drives them back. Stafford now picks up, has to throw the dummy. Very quick off the scrum there was Sam Schmidt. Now McCormick looking for it. No, Runchell, he's going to pick and drive. Stafford gets to his feet. They go to Christensen down the short side. Palms off Waller. Spins around. Gets them inside the 22. Devante Manu, good ball out the back to McCormick. Clackety coming in off his wing. Long ball to Logan. Logan's met by Ashworth. Good tackle.
Yeah, cracking tackle there by Ashworth. Shut him down.
And here comes Runchell. Runchell, he'd love to be in another grand final. There's Logan. Somehow Bradford, he holds on to that one. Here's Manu. Manu, flat ball that time to Johnson, the try scorer. Now it comes off the back to McCormick. McCormick, flat ball to Travis Brook. Travis Brook, good run. Sets up play nicely. They get quick ball. McCormick looking for runners. Davidson was coming on the inside angle. So here's Batalina. Batalina with the steal. So Maitland
Big turnover
squandering.
there.
Oh, they've turned it over again. Davidson. He picks it up. He goes towards the 5 metre line.
The bad Viking. He's
Devante Manu, he's to the right. McCormick comes in behind. Manu, he's somewhat isolated here. They get over him though, the Blacks. Here's McCormick again. McCormick with a kick to the sideline. Oh, Bradford, he's taken out again. Last ditch tackle by the two Blues. Advantage is played.
The old stager Ashworth, he's come up with a ripper there and put him into touch, but the referee's come back playing advantage to the Blacks. So.
Yeah, it was a long advantage that time, wasn't it? And the kick, this Wanderers' defence is almost impenetrable.
Well, Maitland looked like they had space to the left there a minute ago, 3-4 phases ago, and the two Blues come up with the numbers, and that's been their big thing this afternoon. They're just getting bodies in spaces, shutting down the Black side, as Ashworth did there with a fantastic tackle, but it's back now for a scrum to the Blacks. Stafford to feed, 5 out from the two Blues line.
Yeah, so Blacks, do you think they're going to go for the push over here?
Haven't been dominant enough in the scrum, but they're managing this one fine. Stafford barking his forwards.
Yeah, they've got Clackety on the short side. Oh, Clackety, the one-on-one with Marsh would have been interesting as Robards sets it up midfield.
The big body on the charge.
Oh, they pick and drive and almost getting through. Davidson was coming around. They go in front of Davidson. McCormick under all sorts of pressure. Great shooting defence there by Chase Hicks, and again kicking downfield. Here comes Hicks. Hicks coming across. Can he get there? Clackety dives on the ball. Bodyline stuff.
Yeah, under pressure still. Manu picks it up off the back.
So here comes Logan. Logan looking to counter-attack here. And it was almost repeats of a couple of weeks ago off their own line, the two Blues. Kicking forward. Simmons didn't have the pace this time. Now it comes over the head of Manu. The ball handling very scrappy at the moment. He's opposite Reed.
Big tackle by Reed.
Yeah, he came over the top there.
Massive. He was the best for the...
And they're all over it here. This is going to be called back for a knock-on.
Yeah, Reed.
Lucky Willie so probably would have got penalised there, finding himself on the wrong side of this breakdown.
Yeah, Reed was their best last week against Hamilton, and he's been one of their best again today, and he was into that up to his elbows.
Yeah, certainly big engine, hasn't he, Alex Reed?
Massive engine. Like the way he plays the game, Gareth.
So the two Blues with the replacement at half-time. Milanos has come on at hooker. Good young Colt come through the two Blues juniors. I think he was the Colts captain a couple of years ago.
Is that right?
Yeah, good player, good liner.
As always, you've got your finger on the pulse, Gareth. Young Nick, he'll fill his role capably. Sinclair George now to feed the scrum.
The scrum, yeah, just going down. Louis Nelson, be interesting to see how he controls this. We've seen penalty after penalty throughout the final series. He seems to be a bit more patient here today, Nelson.
Louis. Oh, Louis.
Yeah. He's not on the road again.
Well, thank heavens we're not back on the road again. That's the last thing we need at this time of year. So anyway, Louis is controlling the game fine. He's probably our man for next week, you think, Gareth?
Yeah, I'd say, given the stature of this game, I'd say this could be a good indication that he may get the grand final.
Well, from all accounts,
he's a Hamilton boy as well, so interesting little backstory there.
There'll be no bias, I'm sure. He's a referee.
So Sinclair George with the feed. Coming off the back, and again, Morrell.
Is that Ben Ham? Oh, sorry, no, he's not playing today.
Here's Morrell. So George Ashworth almost finding a bit of space, and Hicks came around to create the extra man. And again, first man there, Morrell.
Dominant defence by the Blacks forwards there.
Here comes Alex Reed. He winds up and always seems to find a little bit over the advantage line.
He's the
now
man.
Kevel. He takes it to ground this time. Can't get the arm free. Yeah, good run that time by Sam Schmidt. Really working. Davidson almost jumping the gun offside there.
Morrell now makes a couple of metres, keeps the two Blues on the front foot.
So Simmons to Milanos. Milanos Oh, lovely work by Milanos. They make even the Greek gods proud. Inside to Sherwood. Ashworth. Outside, here comes Hicks. Hicks going for the corner. Hicks is going over for his second try of the afternoon.
Unstoppable in the finish.
Well, you said earlier on, didn't you, on those edges, he was unstoppable last week when he got the ball, and again, he's proving the same.
We spoke about Keogh all year, but Chase Hicks has come to life in this semi-final series, and he is the man. He's come up with number 2 there this afternoon. Give him the pill, give him a bit of space. He's got the speed, he's got the step. And he's over, and the Blacks couldn't contain him in the finish, so a blowout on the cards here now.
Dan Runchell looks like he's in a bit of trouble out there.
The old stager.
So 33 points to 7. And Simmons with the ball. It's on his good side.
So I never asked you earlier before the game kicked off who you were backing. We all know who I was backing this afternoon.
I was actually convinced Maitland would run away with this.
Well, there you go. I'm glad you're honest, Gareth. If there's one thing I've always said about you, you're an honest boy.
Some might beg to disagree there, Jared.
Well, there's no need to bring them into the conversation, Gareth. You're talking to me.
Well, Simmons, what do you like here?
Oh,
he's 100% here today, 33 points to 7.
Good side or bad side?
It's his good side.
Good side or bad side, I'm backing him in. You?
Well, I'm going to have to go with you on this one.
Oh, make a decision, son.
I'm going to say no.
All right, thank you.
We can't be all perfect. Is he going to be today?
As we know, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls at home, I'm 1-0 on the Schooner scoreboard at home.
So Simmons comes in, he hits it, and it looks good. Oh, the flag's go up.
2-0 all of a sudden. Look out, Paul's corner. Here we come.
Very good.
So the two Blues, they are running away with the Rams NHRU preliminary semi-final this afternoon. The Blacks in all sort of shock, under the pump.
Yeah, really outplayed. Certainly their discipline has let them down here today, but no excuses as this one nice and high up towards the 22. So the Blacks, can they come up with something? They need something. As Alex Reid takes them forward and again gets those legs driving, gets them pumping and gets them over the ad line.
Great meters from the big front rower.
So Sherwood, we know he's not going to kick it. Chase Hicks again, the target. Has Keogh on the inside. Keogh the man to clean out. As they go forward, it's Kevill. He was calling for it, but again, Chase Hicks gets involved and takes some pressure off the forwards. He pops it out the back, goes to ground, and they find Alex Reid, who again takes some valuable metres up the field. Ashworth using the referees, a bit of a shepherd there. Waller has support on the outside. Sinclair George, who's played very well here today, takes them up to 40, and they turn the ball over. DeRockney it was. There's Travis Brook. They go to Manu. Manu, the inside ball. No look to Logan, holding on from behind there was Milanos. Nice ball to Clackety. Marsh comes across, wraps him up. There's a big hit there by Schmidt. And this is going to be a yellow card, maybe. We're going to have a...
No.
He's called a high tackle. It's come from the touch judge.
I concur.
And Manu playing for a one-man advantage here. I don't think he's going to get it by the looks of it. But in any case, Maitland will have a chance here to hit back on the scoreboard. The Street Property scoreboard, 35 points to 7.
Yeah, McCormick there taking the touch finder. As you say, Manu appealing to the referee to go to the pocket, but he hasn't done it.
So Louis Nelson could have been a square up there. Willie So having a chat. Now to the referee. Willie So is going to be the man to throw as Runchell comes from the field.
The So is the man to throw. Will he stay or will he throw now?
Willie So.
Here we go.
Not a known line-out thrower, but we'll see how he goes here.
The Blacks looking for points late.
Oh, Brooke, lovely work there by Willie So, the makeshift hooker. Davidson winds up. Davidson through the middle. Almost getting free, breaking free. Travis Brooke now comes to the right. as he's heaved and thrown to the ground by Kevill. They go right again. Short ball to Logan. Logan can't pop a pass or can't evade the tackle.
Already playing advantage here.
Oh, short ball. Here they come now. Spinning around.
The two Blues under pressure.
It's Fraser. Here comes Manu. Try. The Blacks hit back. Carl Manu. He's the man they go to when they need something done, and he certainly did it there.
As he always does, plays direct, straight off the left of the ruck there, on the charge, hit it at 1,000,000 miles an hour, and he's over. The two Blues couldn't keep him out, the old stager. So the Blacks on the scoreboard, but hardly back in the game. Score 35-12.
Yeah, 35-12.
Kick to come.
Bradford, a bit of a sharpshooter himself.
So what are you? You're backing him in early?
I'm going to back him in here.
Here we go.
Josh McCormick, a noted kicker as well. So
you know what I'm going to do.
Josh McCormick kicks at about 86%.
You know what I'm going to do.
You're going to back him in.
I'm backing him out.
Oh, there we go.
Score is 2-0 currently, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls at home. 2-0. This could be who gets their hands in their pocket at Paul's corner right here.
Well, it's been a wild second half, 13 minutes down already. Oh, he goes over. I've pegged one back in the Schooner scoreboard, as well as the Street Property scoreboard, which now shows 35 points to 14.
I can't.
Stan Kevill has some time in the bin. Didn't actually see what that one was for.
What's happened there? The Devil. I can't believe he's been sent.
Yeah, just confirming with the referees it was a high tackle.
Dan wouldn't do that. Seriously, come on.
So high tackle as Kevill now sees some time on the sideline.
So all of a sudden, Maitland with a sniff, they've scored a try. They're down at the Blacks a man advantage.
And they will miss Dan Kevill. He's been busy.
Can they come back?
In defence, and he's also been busy in attack. As that one comes across, and McCormick does well, and they look to counter-attack straight away off their own line. Manu, plenty of pace, jinking run, stepping off the right. Now McCormick, little kick over the top, probably too deep there. Simmons, he looks to counter-attack, he gets away from one. He's opposite there, Logan wraps him up.
Yeah, good work there by the old winger, he's taking him on. Out now to Schmidt. Makes a metre or two.
He's been good, hasn't he, here today, Schmidt?
Oh, he's been good all year.
So here comes Sherwood. He'll tuck it under his arm, and Robards tries to rip that off, and high tackle there.
Sinclair George now
offside, high tackle.
Looking for the quick one, the referee playing advantage there. The Sherwood, he's amazing.
Yeah, he's been really good, hasn't he, at number 10? They were struggling to find the number 10. His brother's been there, of course, and he's a different style of 10. He's a tougher style of 10 than you normally find.
Well, he should be wearing 6.5, really, shouldn't he?
He should be wearing 6.5. He had a stint last year in reserve grade playing breakaway, and a couple of first grade games in at the number 6 position. But he's an out-and-out half-back. As Keogh now winds up, Robards comes in and really puts one on him. He's been fairly quiet here today, Keogh. He sauntered up that run and he was made to pay. So now they'll pick and drive here, the two Blues. No, it spits out. Davidson on the spot. Penalty. Sinclair George, quick tap. Davidson offside, inside ball over the top of Morrell. Crowd calling for a high shot. Reed with a pass to Schmidt. Schmidt bounces out, sets them up midfield. Simmons calling for it, gets it, goes in behind. Here comes Keogh this time. Pops a pass to Ashworth, and Ashworth goes over. Lovely build-up play there by the two Blues, and they make Maitland pay again.
Referee playing advantage, and the two Blues backs got some space. Keogh into space, off to Ashworth, and he's been exceptional in the semi-final series. He
certainly has, hasn't he? And he was almost going to be playing reserve grade in the finals. Not for Dalabozic going away for that Gen Blue stuff. And
well, we saw Dalabozic. He's under
he won the Colts this morning.
He won the Colts. He got man of the match. He's an exceptional talent. But the old fella, he's putting his hand up to not only be included, but he's participated outstandingly well. Got another try there.
Yeah, and he's club captain too, so he's highly esteemed here at the Wanderers Club as Clackety comes from the field for the Blacks.
Yeah, well, you know.
So 40 points to 19. I can't see Maitland coming in, but we will talk about, I guess, whoever wins this game or whoever was going to win this game had to win by a big margin, I feel, to put a bit of fear into Hamilton maybe.
I don't think Hamilton got any fear in him. I don't think you could put the fear of God into Hamilton the way they're going. 4 on the trot. They've won, minor premierships in 3 grades. I'd like to sit down with Bubba Coleman at the sunny side and have a couple of schooners with him and try to put the fear of God in him.
He doesn't get rattled too easy.
I don't think I'd be able to pull it off, Gareth.
So Simmons comes around. We missed that one for the scoreboard, but I'm going to claim it.
You were backing
So we're back. Oh, I wasn't backing him.
Nah, it was his good side, mate.
In any case,
come on.
Let's go back to the game, the action. 40 points to 14. It's the first time Simmons has missed here today.
Let's see what the Blacks can do here in the late stages.
Morrell had a bit of a look there. He was under a bit of pressure.
A little Bo Peep. He had his...
From Taylor on the field. Was it Taylor? No, it was Martin. Chris Martin on the field. Inside now to Logan. Logan pops it up to McCormick. McCormick has support. Just brought down that time by Tate. It was Taylor's. They look a bit disjointed here, the Blacks, and Manu takes them forward. They pick and drive off the back. Davidson looking for a try. Spits out the back.
Yeah, fantastic.
And that's a try.
Yeah, fantastic.
Just wondering to see what was going on there, but yeah, definitely a try. Davidson, the man mountain, the Viking.
The bad Viking. the man mountain. But off the back of the old stage of Carl Manu, who was just, as we say, he just plays direct all day. He's got him on the front foot. He's made good meters there, and Davidson backing him up. Took it to ground. All they had to do, they were over the try line. All they had to do was get it to ground, and he's come up with the goods there.
So now 40 points to 19 on the Street Property scoreboard. Bradford
backing him
with the kicking duties. And he gets it, so you're up again, 1-0. So 21 points to 40. Maitland trail here on the Street Property scoreboard. Wanderers taking their time to get back. They have Dan Kevill in the sin bin.
As you would. As you would.
Soaking up a bit of time.
You're in no rush. Maitland and I got a little bit
of a roll. There's a long way to play in this half, so Maitland still.
You reckon? They're back in.
Any side with Carl Manu definitely has a chance.
Any side. Yeah, well, they've got 2 Manus. They got
Devante Manu.
One leading from the front, one coming out the back. How long to go? How long have we got to play? Because the scoreboard is letting us down here on this that behalf of how long to play. Robards.
It bounces off his chest. They call that knock back. I don't know about that.
Wow.
We've still got about 20 minutes to play in the game. 60 minutes down on the Street Property scoreboard. So here comes Davidson and Maitland. This is where they're dangerous, when they're confident.
Full of running.
Logan
side
waits for it to bounce and tries to get around Hicks. He does, and shows a good bit of pace to get them up towards halfway. Davidson. Devante Manu tucks it under, puts his head down, and this time over halfway. Christensen looking for the run, goes behind to McCormick. Travis Brook looking for runners. Finds Chris Martin. Cold play there by Chris Martin. Nick Davidson. He loses the ball. Batalina does well.
Some of your best there, Gareth. The Batalina,
Alex Reid.
The model from Milan, otherwise known, you call him as the murderer from Mendoza, which I believe is in
he is
Argentina.
He is from Argentina.
Is it?
That's right. Yeah.
I thought
so we go up to halfway.
So I'll get back to me stats man on that one.
That's okay. We'll talk to the producers as we get back to the match. Alex Reid. Alex Reid steps forward. Alex Reid drives forward and again gets them over the advantage line.
Yeah, one of their best all day, Reid.
Blows the penalty. Somehow holding onto the ball. So good work there by...
He only just...
It was Burrell.
He just hit the ground.
Yeah, Burrell had him locked up, though. I don't think the ball was going
he's
anywhere.
He's one of our favourites. He's one of the best blindside flankers in the business. But he only just hit the ground. He's got to give him time to release the ball.
Yeah, well, he didn't. I can't explain it.
Oh, that's why you're not a referee.
In any case, it's a Maitland penalty, and Bradford goes for the sideline and makes some good distance there. Flag goes up. And Maitland looked very slow to get there. Willie So, he's going to continue to throw here, the big man. He's been a Bar TV sports favourite for years, and Brooke comes down with it, and again on the money. McCormick, they look a little pedestrian here as Robards winds up and now gets them over the advantage line. Comes out the back, Stafford to Brooke. Brooke, he goes forward, drives almost through the line, but he's taken nicely in the end by the two Blues. McCormick, had a bit of a look there. Almost gave himself up. Knockback's called.
Come on, sir. There was 2 knock-ons in there that's gone into touch. That is...
Well, the balls was more forward than my gender profile.
We spoke about his hands earlier, and that was a clear knock-on. What is the ref seeing? He needs to go to his sponsor. That's where he needs to go. He needs to go to Specsavers.
Of course, Specsavers, the major sponsor for the referees, as Alex Reid out of the line out. He's going again. Good run again by Reid. He's had a very busy second half here. And now they go...
Through Morrell now on the charge, as always.
He's been impressive, hasn't he, Morrell?
He's been outstanding.
Sherwood Simmons, here comes Hicks. Hicks busts through the line, has Ashworth on the outside, goes inside. Oh, Sinclair George goes without it.
What?
Morrell tried to kick it through. And now Durockney picks up, and he's on halfway.
Huge Durockney on the charge. That was the worst pass he's thrown in his career. He was away. He should have gone to the outside.
Should have gone to Ashworth. I know.
Should have gone to Ashworth.
The player was looming up on Ashworth, and that's another penalty to the Blacks.
Well, the two Blues, I don't think it's going to change the result, but the two Blues putting themselves under a little bit of pressure now. That was horrendous play.
40 points to 21. We've got a fair bit to play on the street property scoreboard.
Well, still...
We've got 15 minutes to go. 64 down.
Raking touch finder there from the Maitland Blacks, and Willie So stepping up to throw the line out.
So 3 tries in 15 minutes. Can the Blacks do this?
I don't think
3
so.
converted tries.
I do not think so.
It's a big ask.
The two Blues have been too good in defence all afternoon, but the Blacks, they're on the charge now through Manu.
Now McCormick, he stands wide. Davidson goes on the inside. Robards, nice ball to Manu. Manu had support through Logan on the outside. Doesn't throw the pass. The ball's gone forward from the breakdown. Davidson, man on the spot. Forced to tidy up yet again.
Referees let that one go.
There's Christensen. Oh, no, that was Durockney. Christensen now getting the ball. Right. Very similar in size and hairline. Here comes Willie So. Willie So. 5 metres out. They did well to stop a rampaging prop forward there. 5 metres out now. Travis Brooke. Can he start something? Good tackle in the midfield.
Yeah, inching forward now. The Maitland Blacks just searching for more points.
Burrell taken without the ball. Here comes Willie So again. Gets his head down. He's over. That's a try. Lovely work by the prop forward. Didn't start the match, came on because of the injury, and now he's got this Maitland Blacks back in this game.
Well, still for mine. We've got 13 minutes to go. They're still not back in the game, Gareth. I think you're talking them up a little bit there. The two Blues have blown them off the park, but certainly the Blacks are back. They're full of confidence. They're ball in hand. They're throwing it about, getting points late. The big Willie So.
He's a crowd favourite.
Well, he's one of our favourites.
He's seen a few clubs. He's made his home at Maitland the last couple of seasons.
That's where he got his nickname. He got his nickname in the disco.
Willie So with the disco.
Willie So now.
Inside the Disco Inferno.
Here we go.
So here's Bradford.
Lining it up.
I'm going to say yes.
I'm backing him. I'm backing you, actually. I'm not going to lose one of that. That's the easiest kick of the day.
Oh, it's come around. It's got a bit of hook on it. I thought it was going to miss. He's aimed for the far post, and it's gone over.
So the Blacks.
28. Now the Blacks climb to 40 points they're chasing. Can they get there?
12 down, 12 to go. Can they get there?
That's the question. The two Blues really taking their time to get back.
Well, they've been full of running. They've had all the ball, all the possession in the last 15 minutes of this second half here at number 2. And the two Blues just trying to consolidate. They just need ball in hand. But the Blacks get this ball. They're going to spin it. They're going to throw it wide. They're going to use their fast men.
So Simmons, he'll go deep to Durockney, and they find Robards. Robards with a flinging long pass, and they find Manu. He's going to be the centre of their attack. You feel out there as Waller tries to reef the ball out of his hands there. Now they pick and drive, and they've turned the ball over, so the two Blues. A try here will probably consolidate this game for them.
I think
there's Alex Reid.
Well ahead in your probabilities, Gareth, with that prediction. Reid, he's been all enormous, and Morrell charges
Yeah, they've both
forward.
been very good, haven't they? The two of them have filled the one band hand, and now here comes Schmidt.
Schmidt now on the charge.
Nice run there, Milanos. Milanos taking some pressure off with the fresh legs, and Keogh cop one around the jaw, advantage being played.
Got to go. He's got to go for that from on.
So Milanos, I don't know about that. It wasn't too intentional, I wouldn't imagine.
Advantage
Little
being
bit hampered there as well, as you said. Advantage being played. Sherwood comes around. Sherwood's calling for the ball, gets it.
Plenty of
looking
space
for the inside ball. Now he's going to be called a knock on, but he's going to come back for the penalty here as the advantage was played.
He's got to go back, as he didn't do earlier in the game, but he's come back for that one.
Sherwood finds Keogh. Keogh winds up, goes towards the try line as he lost the ball there, yes. So Maitland come up with it. A wasted play there. They look to play off their own line. Long ball now to Logan. Logan looking to get outside. Hicks does a good job.
Great
Takes
tackle.
him over, but Maitland throwing everything at it.
Absolute outstanding defence from Chase Hicks there on the left-hand side of the field. Maitland are away. But Hicks comes across in cover and pushes him into touch. Fantastic effort from the two Blues centre there. Fantastic work.
Yeah, very good work. And Milanos now with the throw. This is going to be an exciting last 10 minutes.
10 to go. 12 in it.
Off the top. Batalina strong in the air. Looking for Ashworth. No, Reid. He'll take it on and turns his body looking for the offload, but goes to ground. Good run there by Heffron. Coming on, trying to make an impact here. Here's Batalina, Ignacio Batalina, the murderer of Mendoza. Sherwood loses the ball. Kicked through by the Blacks. Probably should have held on to that one. Chris Martin. And George Ashworth's hit with a good tackle and a second effort, but advantage is going to be played.
High tackle call.
And the Maitland crowd not happy with it.
No.
He came in for the second play there. He's going to have a chat to him. No, he's going to let it go there. So came in with the, I guess you'd call maybe the swinging arm when he was on the ground. I think that one's for.
Well, my call.
I think that was a penalty.
My call was a high tackle, but I'm not quite sure of the referee's interpretation because
He's going to have a chat here too to Manu.
And we can't get him. We can't get him today because
no, he hasn't got the comms wired up. In any case.
Yeah, that's about it for the Blacks for mine this afternoon. The two Blues have been dominant. The Blacks been exceptional in the last 10 minutes, but
yeah, Chris Martin out there. I'm going to have to say Chris Martin to take a tune of Coldplay. It's going to be all yellow.
Killing me. You're killing me, Gary.
So,
as you would hear at home, the roars come out.
It's all, Maitland.
You can
with
hear
the third player in the sin bin of the day.
You can hear him all
as
the way
Ashworth
from the lawn.
Has a well-deserved arrest. The veteran. And Dalabozic comes on the field. So Simmons finds touch. Chris Martin, the winger. He's only just come on.
What's been a tough afternoon here for the Blacks just got even tougher.
Yeah, we saw Wanderers put a couple of tries on early in the first half with a couple of Maitland players off on the bench. So Sherwood now, Simmons wide to Hicks. Hicks, he's damaging out wide on that left-hand flank. Heffron tucks it under, goes forward. Here's Reed again, Reed. It creeps up around his jaw as well. Simmons, play on Keogh. Keogh looking for support, pops out the back. Oh, he hasn't called the knock on there either. The touch judge was right there. Heffron now winds up. Waller gets the ball under pressure.
Fair.
So out the back now. Here's Reed. Reed to Batalina. Batalina doesn't know where to go.
Space to the
now
left.
he finds Marsh. Marsh has the ball knocked down, I think. And it goes over into touch.
No, I think that's why wingers don't pass the football. But anyway.
Well, he came in from the opposite side.
They had every opportunity. There was space everywhere.
They're a man up.
Well, Maitland's stretched.
Yeah, Maitland out on their feet, aren't they? Robards getting back into the defensive line now, and it's going to be interesting.
Oh,
Maitland had a little bit of a sniff, but couldn't really go on with it due to some very good defence by this two Blues side.
That's what's wrong.
Oh, Keogh almost coming through, and now Manu with a bit of a foot race, has support on the outside, steps around, looks for the flick pass inside to Logan, doesn't come up with it. Now Simmons, he looks for support, pops it up to Morrell, and Morrell takes them midfield. Marsh looking for the ball now.
He's the man everywhere, Ham, today. I'll tell you, he's filled the role. Don't worry.
So that's a penalty to the two Blues.
He might be playing in 5, but he is the man that's got him home.
Well, he's actually been playing number 8 for most of the game in the scrum time, in the attacking scrums.
That's all you're correcting me once again.
I'm not correcting you.
Well, I thought the devil was playing.
Well, he had number 8 on his back, but scrum time he was packing in the second row.
Could you just please play in your numbers and your positions as according to the program, ladies and gentlemen? It would help everybody at home. But anyway, and it would correct Gareth from correcting me. So anyway, Piers Morrell, he's had a fine game. Jimmy Gardner, our good mate at the Newcastle Herald, he wrote him up a big story, spoke about his skills through the week, and he certainly showed them here this afternoon. He's been outstanding.
Yeah, he's been everywhere.
What did you say?
He's been everywhere.
All right, Simmons lining it up now for a penalty goal.
And the Blacks
all but done.
Be a little disappointed with this today. The discipline certainly. Can you say it's been a two-way street, though? I know the Wanderers. There's some impartiality out there in Bar TV Sports land. And
I just think the Wanderers' defence has been too good for the Blacks. We spoke about the Blacks' defence in the semi-final series last year, Gareth, and they were outstanding, especially on try defence. But the two Blues, that's what's got them home this afternoon is their defence.
So here comes Simmons. Simmons lines up, strikes it, and the flags go up. So
it was on his good side and I backed him in, so it's your shout.
43 points to 28 is the score on the Streets Property scoreboard. We've got 5 minutes to go.
Yeah, mate, a little disillusion at this stage here at number 2. They're struggling. A big high kick-off.
Batalina.
Exceptional under the high ball.
Yeah, he did well that time. Here's Heffron. Heffron with a pop inside. Morrell, he was alert to it. As they go again, the two Blues. Davidson. He's been the best out there for Maitland today. Chase Hicks gets them up towards halfway. Oh, Keogh absolutely smacked there. Lovely tackle by the Blacks. Here comes Batalina. Now in behind for Sherwood. Sherwood straightens up. Saw Willie So, thought he'd catch him out, and he did. Here comes Tim Marsh now. Heffron, as Marsh looking for some work up the middle. Simmons Blacks look to have this covered. Dalabozek, he's isolated, can't come through on it at Christensen. Somehow the two Blues keep it. No. DeRockney, who's had a good game here today as well. The forwards for the Blacks can hold their heads high. They've just been not allowed too much opportunity today due to a very good Wanderers defence, and indeed a couple of decisions out there in the middle. As now Logan, he gets them up over the 22. And Brooke picks and drives. And you can see Maitland a little bit disorganised now, looking for some cracks in this defence. They can't find any. Now they go wide. Bradford using some pretty good feet there, but Schmidt, he was wise to it, almost coming up with a steal as well. Now comes back McCormick with a flat ball. Thought it might have been forward there, the Wanderers crowd. And what did you think there, Gerald?
Oh, just by a slight metre. A chip over the top now. Keogh comes up with it, goes on the attack.
Oh, this could be shut the gate here. Keogh inside to Hicks. Hicks goes over, and that is all she wrote here at number 2 with a bit of a flip.
What about the flip?
Should have given him 10 points.
The Chase Hicks flip. But I give him the conversion. He doesn't even have to kick it after that effort.
Well, 48 points now to 28. The lead is extended, and that's all she wrote. So,
well, that's about it for this afternoon here at number 2 Sports Ground, ladies and gentlemen, in the NHRU preliminary final between the two Blues. They've run away with it in the finish. We thought the Blacks back in there with a bit of a sniff.
Yeah, definitely. I guess you'd say the discipline and the referee sending those two players off in the first half was, I guess, the key to the Wanderers getting that lead. Don't know if Maitland, with a full complement, both sides, we'll never know. But in any case, the Wanderers have run away with this one, haven't they?
Well, there's no point guessing, Gareth, as we always say. The Wanderers, I'm going to pick and stick. We're going to be here at the big dance next week, and I'm still back on the two Blues.
You're going to say the two Blues? I'm going to say the Hawks to make it interesting. No, but I do believe the Hawks probably on top next week.
Well, for mine, the two Blues, if Maitland play the Hawks in the grand final next week, well, the Hawks win 5 in a row. There's only one team in this competition that can stick it up the Hawks.
Yes, and Simmons comes in for the kick, and the flags go up again.
So
he's had a hot day.
I get 3 at Paul's corner. That's beautiful. I'm glad I backed him in.
We'll have to.
No, for mine, the Blacks turn up next week, they get beat. This is the only team that can stick it up the Hawks. I'm not saying they're going to beat the Hawks.
Well, for me, I think the Hawks have psychologically already beaten the two Blues.
Psychologically?
Yeah, so the Wanderers will have to turn up next week.
Well, as we know, my man Ben Ham will be back next week, and he'll have a fair bit to say about that.
So Devante Manu, he comes up with it.
And whether you
Scrappy kick-off there as Davidson goes forward. He's held up. They join for the maul, and they go forward. They drive, looking for a consolation try. Not long to go in the second half. So scrum.
And scrum to the two Blues. Turnover there from the Black side. Had a late opportunity for points, but it's all over here at number 2, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. We're going to see the two Blues and the Hawks next weekend. We'll see you right here.
Live on Bar TV Sports, of course. It's been a great Rams NHRU final series, culminating with next weekend. Get to the game, get to the ground. It's always a good party atmosphere. It's always a good day here at number 2 Sports Ground. With all 4 grades playing, or 3 grades playing next week.
Fantastic atmosphere this afternoon. Crowd's been building all day since about lunchtime, since I got in here. Had to slip over and get some refreshments at the Commonwealth, and hats off to the girls.
They've looked after you the last few weeks, haven't they?
The barmaids at the Commonwealth, outstanding. A little bit disappointed in me mate Gary Payne didn't turn up for lunch today, but I might catch him next week.
So scrum just going down. And you can see the crowd to the right of us. The parochial Wanderers crowd. They look very happy. Maitland shaking their heads, leaving the stadium, a few of them. They've had a good year, Maitland. A couple of changes.
they took their seats early, the Wanderers crowd, for the under-18 grand final here on the right-hand side of the number 2 stadium, and they've been there all day, and they're going home very happy, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for coming. They've been outstanding. And what's won them the game this afternoon, Gareth?
Just sheer tenacity and defence.
Well, it's just defence. It's just their defence, and that's what they're going to need next week.
Yeah, 2 different styles of play. And it's going to be a big match-up next week.
So closing stages, I'm going to give you, for the first time for the year, I'm going to give you a vote.
Oh, you're going to give me a vote, are you?
I'm going to give you a vote.
Here we go.
Well, I'm going to give you some input at the least.
I'm going to let you commentate with me. How's that? as we go now, I'm going to say Morel for me. What about you?
No, he's been outstanding, Morel. He's been fantastic. He's been there everywhere.
Yeah, he certainly has. I mean, he's stepped up, hasn't he?
He's been there everywhere that wasn't there.
So here comes Simmons kicking out. This will be all she wrote. So that's full time, and the Wanderers are victorious here against the Maitland Blacks. Both sides having a very good season. The Blacks, unfortunately, bailing out here today. And Morel, he was the best on field, and the Wanderers make it through to the Rams NHRU Grand Final to take on the Hamilton Hawks next weekend. Of course, come to the ground. It's going to be a great day out. If not, tune in to Bar TV Sports. Thanks very much to Gerald Ryan. I'm Gareth Wazick, and we'll catch you next time.